Alright, let's work on Bishop's voice a little bit in the box. So McNasty got Bishop preaching some verses from the Bible, Ezekiel 37, about that subject, which is what the track's about. And I ran his voice through an old 40s tape machine, a Ferrograph, to give it a little bit of crunch, and then we put that through space echo, various pedals, just to make it kind of make sense in the track. I find if you just have someone talking over a track, it's a little bit too cinematic. It's a little bit too story time, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through some of those sounds and do a little bit of corrective EQing, because there's a little bit of honk. It sounds like there's a bit of 300 or 400 hertz acting up. Pass a little bit of those.
The question is...
Actually, that feels like it's a... 1K around there.
The question is... The question is...
A little bit smoother. I know this space echo has a notorious 500 hertz.
The question is...
Muddiness. Yeah, okay, that's doing what I wanted to do. Yeah, so that was really muddy. I remember that was my pedals. So let's just take some low mids out of that and see what it's... Very boxy.
At the beginning of time. At the beginning of time.
Yeah, it's got slightly toppy now, so we'll get a de-esser on it.
At the beginning of time.
Nice.
At the beginning of time.
Yeah, let's calm that down. Okay, let's control some of these peaks with an 1176. It's nice because I use these all the time, and this emulation sounds nice and convincing, and it's nice and quick.
At the beginning of time.
There we go, just control those, turn it up in the track a little bit.
And you shall live. I'm talking to you today. The question is, I'm almost out here, but I want you to look at your situation and tell your situation, breathe.
Let's make that section a little bit brighter.
There's nothing impossible.
Well, let's send that Bishop to a bit of reverb.
There's nothing impossible.
Bishop seems like he could be one of the heroes of this track, but there's lots of different moving parts. Do a bit of automation in the box, some corrective EQing, which I've done, and then come out a stereo channel on the desk. Try and get him a good level with the drums. Narrower as well, more focused.
I'm talking to you today. And so, there's nothing impossible. It's moving. It's coming back.
Yeah. We need to control some of this.
At the end?
Well, yeah, all the way through. Bishop is... Let's go for a...
There's a few bits where he jumps out, like here.
I'm almost out here, but I want you to look at your situation.
Let's go from the top, and just... Because we're going to have to automate... Do some automation on Bishop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it here on the desk?
No, on here. Because they're just coming out of 1 and 2. Because the relationship between each other is nice.
Cool. Do you want to ride it here live?
I'll get a comfortable level on the desk for like that first groove in and vamp.
The question is, at the beginning of time,
Yeah, that's cool.
there is nothing too hard for our God. There's nothing in
Yeah, there's nothing too hard for our God, that one. Nice and up.
the beginning of time. I'm talking to you today.
Nice. That's way down. Yeah. Automate that one so it pans completely right as well.
This one.
There, yeah.
The whole time
No, just there.
completely right.
Yeah. Right. So that way, that up, yeah. Just keep plowing.
And so, there's nothing impossible.
So all of that down like the rest of it.
I'm almost out here. The wind of God is moving.
I have to bring his moving down.
It's moving. Speak to the wind. Say yes.
Yes, a little bit up or?
No, it's cool. We're gonna Nat do his solo. Even more down. Turn that down by. No, just the dry one. Like way down. Keep going. Yep. And now. Play. And then go down. Yeah, and then that one. Go way up. So it's different from the first time it happens. Yeah, lovely.
Do you want to automate that, Andy?
Let's automate some panning, I think.
Life is coming back. It's coming back. Your marriage is coming back. Your kids are coming back. The business that failed, it's coming back.
And it's cool because he did it on his phone, right?
Yeah, he recorded all of that just on his phone, sent it to McNasty. And we're now putting it through an SSL. Which is the beauty of technology. I feel like we could put a bit of kind of compression on the whole thing. Subtle. Maybe we'll go for. I don't want to squash it too much.
Life
Try and match the level.
is coming.
That's the 11. Brought a lot of presence in the vocal. Just pushed it forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a nice bit of grit.
So, there's nothing impossible. And so,
Means we can probably bring that down on the desk, to be fair.
and so, there's nothing impossible. I don't care what it looks like. Speak life. Yeah. Speak life.
Now we've pushed that, I feel like we can put a de-esser in there. About 5k. 5.6 if it wants.
And so, There's nothing impossible.
Lovely, that's more manageable. I think Bishop's taken care of. I want to deal with these shouts as well. Part of McNasty's whole charm is just having that shout mic there, and what I've done here, I've borrowed loads of them and stuck them everywhere to kind of create this effect that he's having like interaction with Bishop like all the way through the track, which I think is pretty cool and turning into a bit of a signature for him.
At the beginning of time, there is nothing too hard for our God. There's nothing impossible, and you shall live.
Take a bit of honkiness out of that lead. Let's connect the lexicon then.
Where do you want it? At?
33, 34. Out of the echo sends 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Start by sending the drums to it. I think it's on a short plate at the moment, which might be really cool. Send a bit of snare. And a bit of the overheads. Let's see how we get on. To be honest, the trick I love doing with reverbs is EQing and compressing them on the desk. Cut everything to about 450. And then cut the highs as well down to about 6 or 7. A lot of the time I use these desk compressors as more expanders than anything else. Give the lead a bit of reverb as well. Nice. Reverb can be tricky, like there's a fine line between gluing everything together and making everything sound muddy. Bishop in there as well.
At the beginning of time, there is nothing too hard for our God. There's nothing impossible.
Let's definitely get shouts through there as well. Helps make the listener feel like those shouts aren't just totally random, not too dry. Everyone's in the room together. Press the shouts a little bit more. See that one.
And you shall.
That one felt like it jumped out. Loads.
Nothing impossible. At the beginning of time.
One guy we haven't added is the organ. It's the final piece of the puddle. Final piece at puddle of the puzzle as far as the instrumentation. Again, with the organ, what I did is it was an emulation again, so I reamped it through the room, but instead of going through an amp this time, I took it out the speakers we have in the bookshelf and had some nice wide room mics to just create a little sense of space. So the dry signal is fine. It's a very convincing organ, but with the room on its own, lovely sense of space. So together, it just gave the organ more depth, made it a bit 3D. So be careful about how much room we put in, because we're going to compress them both. A 436. Which is such a fantastic compressor if you can find them, but they're just notoriously unreliable. The amount of times I've gone into a studio and one of these just isn't working, which is infuriating, and a plugin seems more maintainable. This one's really nice. Let's try that in the track. That seems a good balance between the room and the DI.